What I want you to see is that to separate between the subjective and the objective that declares modernity is very real, but it is not necessary. It is a particular assemblage of humans and non-humans that we have gotten used to that I think just obscures the way things might be. Since it is a particular assemblage, it can be disassembled and reassembled. Subjectivity and objectivity all belong part of a wider assemblage that loses a sense of what's good. It loses a sense even of what is, because everything itself becomes caught in this gap between the objective and the subjective, and it loses God. It loses with that the tradition that it itself obscures that it is. When we look to the Christian tradition, then we look through a particular different assemblage, an assemblage begun by Jesus of Nazareth. Assemblage, like all assemblages, are distinguished by repetition, but a repetition also has remembrance. This remembrance is not merely within immanence, but that from which and to which and through which all things are, God. Here then we find in God that the subjective and the objective are found within God, not God collapse into one subjectivity. We then have a language of speaking about the different assemblages that is much more coherent than the distinctions that we find within the modern assemblage. As we go through the semester, this will become more and more important and hopefully evident as one turns back to the assemblage begun by Jesus, that then opens up to us a means of remembrance and repetition that we talked about in class that define how we all actually live, that can find its beginning and end in God, because God has not remained hidden from us, but revealed God's self by taking on human flesh in Jesus Christ. That is the center of the Christian tradition, and when we view it as an assemblage that does not fit into the modern assemblage without being radically distorted, then we begin opening up the agenda for the class.